Hey there, YouTube land. And yesterday I did a video called horror Blu-rays that are must-haves. Right now I'm going to continue on with that with DVDs. Now that being said, there are going to be some DVDs that here that are Blu-ray as well, but you can check on which ones are Blu-ray and DVD. If there's one that is better as the DVD format, I will tell you right out. There's going to be a couple there that I'm going to suggest you get in the DVD format, even if you have the Blu-ray or as a supplemental with the Blu-ray. So first off, like we did last night, we'll start with the Criterion ones. I did this video, well, about 5 minutes of this video once before. Phone rang, and I was like, oh, so I started over. So here it goes. House, extremely trippy, extremely fun film. It's a Japanese film. You got to see it to believe it, and even then, you're not going to believe what you're seeing. Great images, great visuals. It's one you really got to see. The Devil's Backbone, the infamous number 666 Criterion. It's by Del Toro, set during the Spanish Civil War. It's a great little ghost story, really creepy. You got to check it out. Second is a great movie by John Frankenheimer. Really, just watch it. Rock Hudson does an amazing job in this film. Not at all what you think. Diabolique. Again, this is another one that I love by Clouseau. I've watched this one so many times. Let me know in the comments down below without being spoilerish. What was your take on the ending? My take? I think the kid was telling the truth. Monsters and Madmen. One of the sexiest box sets that Criterion put out, hands down. And I got the Zadichi set as well, so this is pretty damn sexy. Haunted Strangler, Quarters of Blood, Atomic Submarine, First Man in Space. Just some really, really incredible movies. You really got to check them out. Haunted Strangler especially is a really fantastic film. So that's the Criterion ones that we're going to look at in my DVD collection. Obviously, I've got a lot more DVDs now than I got Blu-rays because, well, I started collecting DVDs for years before I collected Blu-rays. So, two that I don't have out here, but I think are really good ones to have in your collection are Dead Alive and The Frighteners by and Bad Taste. Those three by Peter Jackson. If you can get the Bad Taste Special Edition by Anchor Bay, really that's one to pick up. Next up is The Fly 2. I know, not something you'd really think of like right away, but you know what? This is the collector's edition. This is the only version of this one you want to get. The two disc sets, because if you like any of the Fly movies, if you like the original, if you like the David Cronenberg first Fly film, then there's a really good documentary on the entire Fly franchise on this here set, and it is the only way to get it. The Fly collection doesn't have it. The Fly doesn't have it. Fly 2 is the only way to get that documentary, and it really is a good documentary if you're a fan of the Fly franchise. Next up is the movies that I think need to be watched from this series. Wrong Turn. A lot of people didn't like it or thought it got long in the tooth, but here are 3 Wrong Turns that I think are must-haves if you're collecting it. The original Wrong Turn, of course, this is the only one that actually really went to theater, I think, with Eliza Dushku, was, of course, gorgeous, and I like her acting. My better half doesn't like Eliza Dushku. I think she's jealous because I like her. I like her. Wrong Turn 2 is better than Wrong Turn, in my opinion, in almost every way. It's just a much more compellingly fun film. The deaths are 10 times better, and the pacing is just so much better. And that's my opinion. That's what That's what I think of it. The other Wrong Turn movie that I think was actually really good, and the pacing was good. The characters were actually likable, and they did a good job of it. Was actually Bloody Beginnings, Wrong Turn 4. Didn't expect this one to be as cool as it was. Of course, there's a new Wrong Turn movie out there. You can get that one for collectability's sake. It's not a good movie, but it is a fun movie. It totally disregards everything that you learned in every other Wrong Turn movie, by the way. There's a couple of Shout Factories that I want to get out here as well. So, as always, by the way, I'll be doing a Arrow and Scream section a lot at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that, and I'll give you like some Arrow and Scream Factory DVDs that I got that I think should be in your collection, whether you grab their Blu-ray editions or in the Arrow case, sometimes there are no Blu-ray editions. Galaxy of Terror, fantastic film. It's very Event Horizon-ish. Love this movie. I don't know how many times I watched this. This was one of the original ones we got with the Roger Corman Cult Classics collection. Our first one, I think, was probably Piranha, because it's one of my better half's favorites. The Roger Corman Cult Classic series is definitely the precursor to what became the Scream Factory label. We got reversible covers, a bunch of features on here, just some incredible stuff, and this is a really fun movie. Human Eyes from the Deep 2 is a really cool film. It's much, much more brutal in ways than I thought it was going to be. We're not talking about bloody brutal type thing. It's just the way that the creatures are actually smarter than you think they're going to be. We have these creatures here that are coming to mate with the women, basically. And they come in first. Their first wave of attack is to come in silently at night, kill all the dogs. So no protection from the animals. Really, just it's a little scene. They don't really even show the dogs get killed or anything like that. It's just so brilliantly done when we find out that all the dogs in the town have been killed. Next up is one that is on Blu-ray, at least the first one is, but I think you'll be better off getting this DVD edition. Yeah, I know. Scream Factory put out a Blu-ray for the Slumber Party Massacre, the first one, which is fantastic and all, but they haven't put out the set. Now, the Roger Corman Cult Classic Collection that Shout Factory originally put out, the Slumber Party Massacre Collection, this is the way to have it. It has all three movies. It's got a lot more special features on there. I think there's auto commentaries on every one of these films here. There's a 3-part documentary, just some great stuff. Hopefully, down the road, they'll put these two, the other two, out on Blu-ray as well, with each with extra features, because I want more features on, especially Slumber Party Massacre 2. That's a really strange film. I want to know more about what the hell they were thinking when they made that movie. Definitely one to pick up. It's a great collection, and I recommend this to everybody that likes the slasher film genre at all. And it has 3 distinctly different films. The first slasher film was originally made to be like Slumber Party Massacre film was originally meant to be like kind of a parody of slashers, but it became more of a serious slasher in the way that it was is edited, in the way that it was cut. It actually made the director really upset and the writer. The second film is completely a parody of especially the Nightmare films and stuff like that. It's very cheesy, very over the top. We've got a killer that kills with a drill guitar, sings and dances. It's a cross between Elvis and Andrew Dice Clay. It's really cool. And the third one goes to a more generic stance where if you can't figure out who the slasher is, oh my god, it's really obvious. So we're going to put these up here. We're going to get back to some of the other stuff. Black Christmas 1974. This is a movie everybody should have. Bob Clark does an amazing job in directing, as Bob Clark always did with his direction. There's some great features on here. There are a few different Black Christmas DVDs and Blu-rays out there to get. This is the one that I got. At the time, this was the only one I could find. My father had the edition that comes before this. I think that one had a commentary, but this one has has a documentary. We got like some excellent interviews on here and stuff that weren't on the other ones, and a midnight screening Q&A. Just some really great stuff. I would like to find like some definitive DVD Blu-ray that has all of it on there, because the features seem to be like put over like 2 or 3 different editions. But Black Christmas, when you have that in your collection, it is a definitive slasher classic and a definitive horror movie all around. Horror movie. Oh god. Ringu Anthology of Terror. No matter what you think of the actual Ring films, the Ringu, the original film, was great. And having Raison, Ringu 2, and Ringu 0 on it is extra cool bonuses. Some of these I like more than others, but I'm really, really proud to have the entire series, and this is a really good way to get it. You probably saw this movie in Scream Factory, and probably in a lot of my Scream Factory videos. It's Cat People with Natasha Kinski and Malcolm McDowell, and as Sammy will tell you, that fantastic pull scene with the nudity by the gorgeous Annette O'Toole. For all you Smallville fans out there. Cat People is a fantastic little film. Why do you want to keep the DVD if you've got the Scream Factory Blu-ray, which is a really good upgrade on with new interviews and a great new transfer? Well, because see these features here. Scream Factory unfortunately could not get the rights to those features. So if you've got the Cat People DVD, I do what like my friend Nathan does sometimes. I think he like kind of makes a Blu-ray DVD combos out of some of these things. This is the case when you really can't. This is a really, really cool movie. And this one has some great... We've got a feature commentary on here, some extra features that just couldn't make it over to the Blu-ray edition. You know, sometimes there's rights issues, and that really can't happen. But that's why you always, whenever you upgrade, make sure you check the features on there. Upgrading is a great idea, especially for movies that you really, really like. But sometimes you can, you know, trade in the other one. Other times, it's good to hold on to it, just in case it's something that you're really into. And if you're a feature whore like I am, you're going to want that stuff. Next up are 2 very cheesy little films. One I think is really, really cool, as in the horror sense of the word. one is eye roll worthy, but it's in a good way. Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. I love this film. Jeff Burr did a great job in this movie. Jeff Burr's a great little director, does highly underrated. This is probably the most underrated of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequels, and probably my favorite, actually. I would even put this one above number 2. 2 is like a great comedy, but this one actually gets back to what Leatherface kind of really is. This is messed up. This is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, right away, I got to tell you right now, you have to get the Lionsgate Maple edition of this, because that was the edition that was unrated. I'm not sure if it ever got over unrated to stateside. I know they had a problem with getting they had a rated copy of it. It was kind of cut and stuff. But if you're going to see this messed up little film, you got to see it that way. It's a really strange film. It's not the best film in the world, but I do enjoy it. Next up is one, and this is a case where I think the DVD beats it, the Blue. And Night of the Living Dead, the 90s remake, was put out on Blu-ray. Everybody got excited about it. Unfortunately, the transfer was horrific. This Night of the Living Dead that came out on DVD has features, which, by the way, are not even mentioned on the back. There's a bunch of features on this that they're not mentioned until you put the disc in. You're like, holy crap, this thing actually has some cool features. Well, this was Tom Savini's Night of the Living Dead. He worked really hard on this movie. Unfortunately, did not get the complete vision that he wanted, but I think it's still a fun little film. Definitely check it out. I got this at Walmart at one time for like $5. I could not believe it. The MGM stuff. Here's stuff that yet has not come out on Scream Factory or on the Blu-rays. And it's The Curse and The Curse 2. The Curse is a classic, kind of like horror film with Will Wheaton. Very, maybe sort of Lovecraftish, I guess we want to call it. The Curse 2, The Bite, is such cheesy fun. I mean, any movie where a guy's hand turns into a snake, you've definitely got to check it out. I think it's J.D. Pick from Dallas. And I think also, was he on... Okay, my good friend Parsnip would know this better. Was he on... He's with Young the Restless? I think it was Young the Restless. My soap opera friends would know this better. Jill Schoelen, who I was completely in love with when I was younger, still do. She was gorgeous. Phantom of the Opera, with Robert Englund, she was in that. She was in Stepfather. I still don't have any of those movies. Damn, any of those movies. Jill Schoelen was in the first one of those, and she was in, I think it was Scream for Help. And of course, the infamously really, really bad movie that Brad Pitt was in, Cutting Glass. Didn't make the list here, even though it's one of my cheesy favorites. That may go on my cheesy favorite list. Speaking of cheesy favorites, and movies that have not yet made it to Scream Factory that I'm hoping will, here's a little anthology film that actually has one of the stars of CSI in it. And it is called After Midnight. Yeah, this is about as cheesy as the box cover looks. But I had a lot of fun with it. Not sure what it was that drew me into this one, but I really love anthology films. So if you're an anthology fanatic, you're going to want this one. You know what you're not going to want? You're not going to want Death Foretold. Don't buy that shit, no matter what. This one, however, this one's pretty good. Here's another one I want to see them get. Edge of Sanity. It's a great Anthony Perkins one. It's kind of a really cool twist on the whole Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing. Really, really enjoyed this movie. Anthony Perkins does an amazing job. This looks extremely creepy. I love to see this one with some decent features. It was a favorite of mine when I was growing up. I really got to revisit it. Here's one that I watch every once in a while. If I'm in a funk, this is one of the movies that kind of helps me get out of it. And damn, it's good. It's makes me sing, though, for the next little while because of the songs that are in the film. It's called Dead and Breakfast. Dead and Breakfast is a unique little zombie musical whatever. It's very cool, though. I mean, we have a really decent cast here. Everett Carradine's in this one here. We got Gina Phillips, Diedrich Bowder, Portia de Rossi. David Carradine has a small role in this one here as well. And I think one of the guys here is actually related to somebody you may know by the name of Mr. Bruce Campbell. I think he's related to Bruce Campbell. Check it out. Dead and Breakfast is a really fun film, and when they do the kind of the bluegrass, hip-hop, rock, dance thing, you're going to be fixated to the screen. And if you go put this movie on, you're going to watch it, and you go out to get like a snack or something, you leave it on the menu, the songs start to play, they get stuck in your head for days. For me, for weeks. Next up is a little one called, The Rise of Leslie Vernon, Behind the Mask. Yeah, it's a really, really fun film. If you've ever seen Man Bites Dog, not the same, but it does have the similar type of premise to it. I think this is well, I can't say underrated because, this is one of those ones that started as a sleeper hit, started as underrated, then everybody started watching it, so definitely check it out. If you haven't checked out Behind the Mask, it's a really good movie. Here's one that I gotta recommend if you can pick it up. It is called Scream Theater 12 Cheap Chills VCI Horror Marathon. Why get this one? Because some of the movies that are on here actually I haven't seen around in a long time. I'm not sure if they went out of print, if you can't find them anymore. But we got Alice, Sweet Alice on here. Beyond Atlantis is on here. We got Twilight People with Pam Grier. That's on here as well. Night Creatures on here. Beast of the Yellow Nights here. Scream Bloody Murders. There's got a lot of really cool classics. So it's like a 1-2. You got some 4-disc set. Definitely worth picking up. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Awesome, awesome little set. Now there's a couple of the Christmas classics that we need to get in there as well. And we have Jack Frost's really fun film. What does he do with that carrot when he gets Shannon Elizabeth? You'll find out. It is very cheesy. There is a sequel to this one, but for this video, this is the one. This is the must-have in your collection. Jack Frost, letterbox version. Fun little film. Next up is Silent Night, Deadly Night, parts 1 and 2. It's a double feature that they put out. Really good. And I gotta be honest with you, there is a Blu-ray of Silent Night out there. Unfortunately, it didn't get the greatest reviews. I didn't get it. There's no new features on it. Nothing new on it. But if you can do it, grab yourself the Christmas Survival double feature. That's the better edition. You get both of them on their own discs. There's not on one disc, so there's Silent Night, Deadly Night with the features that you would get on the Blu-ray or the DVD either way, and you get Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 with its own features. And by the way, Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, I'm sure you watched my review of it, is hilarious. You have to see it. All that being said, as far as remakes and reboots and all that stuff goes, Silent Night, it was a good movie on its own. This is a really fun little film. If you haven't checked it out, it's got some decent killings in it. Killer's really well done, very extremely well paced, very well shot film. I was extremely surprised. I expected nothing of this movie, and it really delivered on way, way more than I thought it was going to do. We got Malcolm McDowell in this one, Jamie King's in it. There we got Donald Logue. So just an incredible cast, a really cool film, much, much better than I thought it could be, and that's always a good thing. Next up, I got this one, Steelbook. There's a few different editions. There's a 2-disc edition as well that I think is out there that I would look for if you can. It's called Dead Snow, Dad Snow, as most people know it. As you know, there's a sequel out. I haven't got the sequel or seen it yet, but I hear Red vs. Dead is also really good. This is one of the best zombie comedy movies that I've seen in ages. It's really, really that good. And it's got the frenetic pace of like a like an Evil Dead 2 type of thing. It's just all over the top fun stuff. Wishmaster and Wishmaster 2 was one of the double features that I originally bought. If you can get an Artisan DVD release that's horror, grab it. Artisan puts a lot of cool stuff on their features, a lot of Easter eggs and all that stuff. A while back, I picked up the Artisan DVD release of Blair Witch Project 2. And I was going to get it, and I hemmed and hawed, put it down. I said, I'll go back and get it later if I want to. Picked up, and went back. It was gone. Really regretted it. Artisan put out some really great stuff. They're harder to find now, but if you can find it, definitely pick up Wishmaster 2. There's a trilogy of films. The first one is definitely awesome. The third one is meh, but the second one is an utter masterpiece. It was put out by Shout Factory. Unfortunately, they didn't put any features on this one at all. It's a real shame. I'd love to see some features on this film. Cold Prey too. When I watched these, were under the name Fritwilt, and they're like subtitled on that. And I'm hoping this is subtitled. Is it? No. Yeah, it's perfectly. It is subtitled. Great. So whenever I hate calling it Cold Prey just because I didn't watch them under that name, but great film. I mean, this is this is the way that a slasher movie, modern day slasher movie should be done. Really strong characters, a good origin, strong female characters. That's what you want in a film like this. Bring on the Cheese Time. James Cameron's famous directorial hit, Piranha 2, The Spawning. This one is, I think, my better half's one of her favorite horror films of all time. It is very cheesy. And hey, Piranhas That Fly, long before the Piranha 3 Double D came out. Some of that. This was very, very cool. The grunting run scene's hilarious. Everybody needs trailer tapes in their collection. You got to have some trailer tapes. This is the only one I got. I really want to get the 42nd Street Forever ones, especially the Blu-ray edition that they put out. But right now, I got this one. It's really cool. This is a UK release. The Nucleus put out. Nucleus puts out a lot of good stuff, by the way. They did both of those Video Nasty documentaries. I think that are being done by Severin over here. Being released by Severin anyway. The Grindhouse Trailer Classics. Just very, very cool stuff. Look at that awesome cover. It's like a little kind of a mini documentary here by, I think, Emily Booth. And, but it has like, I'm not sure how many trailers are in this one here, but it's like a ton of stuff. It's like 2 hours long, 2 hours of trailers, really cool stuff. Just definitely worth checking out. Every horror fan in there will have a movie in their collection that they championed when a lot of people didn't like it. This is one of the ones, well, Texas Chainsaw is one of my biggest champions. I know a lot, but I can get why people didn't like that one. But I can't bring to find why people didn't get into this one. I thought it was a really good movie. If you were a slasher fan, I thought this would be like high up on your list. And it's a movie called Valentine by Jamie Blanks. Now, Jamie Blanks is the director of Urban Legend, as well as Storm Warning. He's done like a lot of different cool movies and stuff, and he really is into the horror genre, and he gets what slasher movies are. And this movie really shows that it gets what the 80s slasher films were all about. It has a all-star cast. We've got David Boreanaz, we have Denise Richards, Marley Shelton, Katherine Heigl's in this one as well. And you'd think that that would be enough, that would just get people in there, but it unfortunately didn't. It didn't connect with the audience. It came out probably at the wrong time, but it really is a hands down, unabashed 80s slasher movie. That's exactly what it is, and it does a great job of it. Tremors Attack Back. Now that on Blu-ray, so if you get the Blu-ray one, definitely grab that one. That's the franchise collection. It's got all 4 Tremors movies. Some really great features on here. I love the Tremors series. They're fun movies to watch, to put on just in the afternoon, just to waste some time. And the original Tremors is still my favorite in the series. But the whole series, you got to have the whole franchise. Here's one of the editions you're going to find out where the DVD is far, far, far superior from the Blu-ray. Tourist Trap was put on Blu-ray, and it was cut. It was cut. The director didn't know it was cut. He obviously wasn't watching the cut version, because when they do the directorial commentary on it, he actually talks about stuff that's not in the Blu-ray. So it got a lot of flack from Scream Factory for Full Moon fans, and it was really badly done. It was sad, but what they did do, what was done right, was this 20th anniversary DVD edition of Tourist Trap. Really good stuff. Amazing. And even here, there was controversy. When this one came out originally, this was, I guess it was supposed to be double-sided, but it came out, just normal-sided and stuff like that. It advertised like 40 Full Moon trailers. You'd go, so they didn't do the double-sided. They kind of just did the single-sided. So you got the editor commentary, which was awesome and stuff like that. And what you didn't get were the 40 trailers that they promised were going to be there. Not a big deal for me. Glad to have. This is the uncut version. Nothing's cut out of this one here. Check that one out. It's the DVD edition. There's a lot of different editions. I got mine is from Pathé, and it's this was done in France, but it's got the English on it, so which is really good. And I just really love this cover and the slip box. And it's Eden Lake. Eden Lake's a movie that's definitely not for everybody. It's a hard movie to watch, but it's a good movie that deserves to be watched. Michael Fassbender is that earlier role in this one here. Kelly Riley does a fantastic job. Everybody in this movie is just amazing, but it is a rough movie. You will not be in a happy mood after watching it. Next up is Dark Knight the Scarecrow. Yes, guys, this is when TV movies that came on TV, were actually scary and fun. The Deluxe Collector's Edition. Larry Drake is in this movie. Does a great job in this film here. And he's not the bad evil that you would normally see Larry Drake be. That would be Charles Durning's role. And just check it out, man. It's a really decent movie. Psycho Killer triple feature by Shriek Show. I don't have a lot of Shriek Show stuff. I used to have a bunch of it, but when I moved back from Ottawa, I couldn't take my DVDs and stuff, most of them actually with me, so I ended up having to sell off a lot of stuff. But I've more than made that back. But this is one of the sets that I originally had, and I got it back recently. The one that I had first was a bigger box one. It's got Delirium, House on the Edge of the Park, which is a favorite of mine, and Beyond the Darkness, which they're all three of them are cool. I mean, I like all these movies. I like one of them because Serena Grande's in it, and well, Serena Grande is Serena Grande. Uh, House on the Edge of the Park, excellent movie. One of Deodato's best, in my opinion. Uh, Way better paced and shot and done than Cannibal Holocaust, to be honest with you. It's maybe a little bit of say, but really, Cannibal Holocaust is not a good movie. It lives on its notoriety. But House on the Edge of the Park is actually a really decently put together movie. Now, that being said, House on the Edge of the Park does have some pretty violent sequences in it, and it's not for everybody. I mean, he terrorizes the people in there. But when the twist happens at the end of this movie, it is brilliant. It is beautiful, and you just got to see it. Pin is one of my all-time faves. I love this movie. Just incredibly cool stuff. David Hewlett starred in this. Was one of David Hewlett's earlier roles. You probably remember David Hewlett from things like Stargate SG-1. Was it SG-1 or Atlantis? Was it? The Doctor. Really smart one. The scientist doctor.
Guy?
Yeah. He was in Scanners, too, as well. It was in Atlantis, right?
It is Atlantis.
Yeah, Atlantis. Yeah, you probably remember
He's
from...
Canadian actor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. It's Stargate. It's done in Canada. Almost all Canadian. David Hewlett does an incredible job in the movie. And Tara Quinn's in this movie as well, by the way, guys. Really, it's an underrated psychological thriller done by Andrew Niederman. The book was written by Andrew Niederman. And who's Andrew Niederman? Well, most people know him now under the other name that he writes under, V.C. Andrews. He took over the V.C. Andrews books after V.C. Andrews unfortunately passed away years ago. He's a Canadian author. Here's a really cool horror double feature that has a commentary on each of them, which is really cool. A lot of double features you get really don't have anything. But this one does. The Village of the Damned, Children of the Damned, the classics, the originals. Very cool English films. So I gotta say, I adore both of them, and they're really worth checking out. You know, that being said, even though they have commentaries and all that stuff on them, I gotta be honest, I do not think I've ever listened to the commentaries on those movies. The Changeling may very well be one of the greatest haunted house movies that you're ever going to see. And it doesn't have a really malevolent spirit in it. The Changeling is a very different George C. Scott. I mean, most ghosts would be afraid of George C. Scott, but this is a really cool film. You definitely have to check this one out. This one really needs a Scream Factory Arrow video Blu-ray release. You want to see what scared me when I was a kid? When I was little, Salem's Lot scared me. This is the original miniseries, and it was creepy. Just look at that guy. Come on. Raw. But that wasn't the scene that scared me. No, there's a scene in it where there's two brothers, and they're pretty much inseparable. One of them gets grabbed into the woods. In a pretty freaky scene. And later on, we see the brother, his vampiric self, actually scratching on the window for his other brother to let him in. It's a pretty horrific scene. for movie or TV, that was pretty brutal back in the day. VCI put out this really cool edition, last collector's edition of Blood and Black Lace. One of my favorite Bava films, and one of the starts of the whole Giallo thing. You know, we got the Black Gloves, we got the Killer. This is a 2-disc edition. Very cool. I love the way they got all the features written on the actual disc. That's very neat. I decided not to put a lot of box sets in this set one here. Well, this one I think deserved a special mention. I will be doing down the road, I'll do classic ones where my Valoons and stuff come into it. But for right now, the Twisted Terror collection really, really is that good of a box set. It should be owned. It has movies in here that are uncut for the first time when they came out on the set. Deadly Friend was one of Wes Craven's films that was cut. It's uncut in this one here. We got, Dr. Giggles is uncut. Someone watching me, and we have some great films. We've got Oliver Stone's The Hand on here, Dr. Giggles, which would have been an extreme hit, except that people were so over bloated and the slasher movies have been done so much at that point that nobody's watching them anymore. And even when good ones came out, like Dr. Giggles, they just weren't, the audience just wasn't there. They were on to something else. So a lot of the really decent slasher films that came out in the later 80s just got shoved under the rug. Someone Watch Me is by John Carpenter. Eyes of a Stranger is a really cool film. Early Tom Savini work, you're going to get to see in that one there. Deadly Friend, Wes Craven. I think it's underrated. Actually, it's pretty decent. And the best of all, you get From Beyond the Grave, which is a really cool Amicus anthology. And Amicus is, they're the king of anthology for horror films. They just really do them best. And the real horror is going to be me putting all this stuff back afterwards, just so you know. But for you guys to do this. Torso, Sergio Martino classic giallo. Oh, they should have the, originally it says Entry If You Dare, the bizarre world of the psychosexual mind, but that is not the tagline you want. There's like what's that? The only thing scarier than the first 10 minutes of this film are the last 15. And it's actually true. The tagline actually works for this film. Susie Kendall, of course, who was one of those classic giallo actresses. Beautiful woman. And this is a terrifying film. I mean, the whole idea is that there's a killer going around. We don't know who the killer is. She sprains her leg. She goes up to the cabin where the girls are already at. She's not expected to go up there. And she goes off into her room by herself while everybody parties downstairs. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, the killer shows up, and she's up there alone with the killer. Well, he's pretty much disposing of bodies, and she's frantically trying to hide the existence of herself so the killer doesn't know that she's actually there. It's really tense and really well done. Definitely check it out. It's a really cool film. I think this is the best and only way to have this movie. The Hills Have Eyes. See this edition? Yeah, this is the one I have. It's a 2-disc edition. Disc 2 is just amazing. I watched Disc 2 more than the movie. It's got, looking back on The Hills Have Eyes, a really excellent documentary. And the director, the film's Wes Craven, just incredible. Check it out. Definitely awesome stuff. Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. I grabbed up this edition. It's got a great audio commentary, neat featurette on it. I'm a real big fan of Hellraiser 2. I think it almost tops the original. I just love the visuals on the original, but this one here is just the villain I like a little better. Original Phantasm. No, any Phantasm movie is great, but the original one is a classic. Start here and see if you want to go on from here. Basically, Phantasm is a nightmare filmed on celluloid. That is my best description of Phantasm for you. Check it out. It's a really great film, and you'll always remember, boy. I showed this one in my Blu-ray edition, but I got to show it in my DVD edition as well. Here is Happy Birthday to Me. This is the original Anchor Bay edition. If you can get this one, now you can find this one some places for fairly cheap. This is the original poster art for the movie. I got the Blu-ray edition, which is a great upgrade, but having the Anchor Bay one here, there's no features on this one, I don't think, but basically it gives me the original poster art, which I was really into as a kid. It was one of the things that made me really look at posters. This one does have a Blu-ray and Scream Factory release. Anchor Bay put this one out on DVD. The Battery. It was one of my top movies of last year. Just thought it was a fantastic film. Really surprised me. It was not at all what I expected. But remember, this is a very slow burn. It's very much a character piece more than it is like a real. It's not those zombies gut munching type of film. It's not that. It's a character piece of two people that are surviving through a zombie apocalypse, and how they play off of each other with very different, very distinct personalities. People that would not get along or be together under normal circumstances. See, for some people that's going to seem extremely boring. For some people are going to get intrigued. But that's exactly what it is. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay. A lot of people really don't like Troma. They put out a lot of cheesy stuff. Troma's as a taste that either you acquire or you kind of get it right away, the really low budget stuff. But Troma also puts out movies that they did make. And if you ever only have one Troma movie in your collection, and it's not Toxic Avenger, then this is definitely what it should be. There's nothing out there. This is one of the smartest, funnest little films that I saw in a long time. It's very low budget. It's very cool. And years before horror movies got into the whole self-referential thing, this movie was doing it first. And I did it pretty cheesy, but I really do like this film. It's got some really cool aspects to it. Definitely check it out. This is like, I think it's a 2-disc edition. Yeah, it's a 2-disc edition. There's a bunch of features on here. Troma's really good when it comes to features and stuff like that. It even got Ralph Knifsky's, because, yeah, it's Ralph Knifsky. It's a short film, Mood Boobs, which starred Tiffany Seppes. And that's a hilarious movie, by the way. A short film. One of the greatest slasher films of all time, in my opinion, is The House on Sorority Row, and it was put out by Scorpion Releasing. This is the 2-disc edition. A lot of really great interviews on here. There's commentary as well. Actually, there's 2 commentaries in this one here. Just an amazing movie. If you've not seen The House on Sorority Row, you really, really should see this one. It's a fantastic film. I love it. Thank you, Scorpion Releasing, for that amazing film, by the way. I want to get this one on Blu-ray. I think I'm one of the only holdouts that has the DVD edition, but it's a really good DVD edition that even if I get the Blu-ray, I can't. I could never get rid of this. It's just too cool, and it's Dark Skies Steelbook for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's got 2 discs. It's got a bunch of features on here. It's got a couple of documentaries. It's got 2 commentaries on here, so it's not too bad. And just some amazing stuff. I love the look of the Steelbook. It's got great interior artwork, and I love the picture. It's an iconic pose. Definitely one to pick up. Dark Sky Films puts out some really great stuff. Speaking of Dark Sky Films and Tobe Hooper, Eaten Alive, his follow-up to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Having to follow up Texas Chainsaw Massacre was really, really hard to do, and this movie kind of got lost in the shuffle because of that. But Eaten Alive is way, way underrated. This is an incredible film. Love this movie. There's great features on this one here. And Robert Englund. We got Robert Englund in this movie, so it's very cool stuff. We got 2-disc edition. I love the way they do this. Look. Coming out like that. Again, this is one of my faves. You know, Roberta Collins is in this, Marilyn Burns is in this, Mel Ferrer is in this, Robert Englund's in this, and Carolyn Jones. You know, it's got a great cast: William Finley, Stuart Whitman, and of course Neville Brand acting up Storm, and it's incredible. But if you love the cheese, if you adore the cheese, then nothing can... The Devil's Reign. I gotta say right now, who does not want to watch a movie that has William Shatner, Ernest Borgnine, Ida Lupino, and John Travolta, and their faces melt? So, well, some of their faces melt. But look at this, guys. Devil's Reign, a movie by director Robert Faust about devil worshipping, and just see it. You just got to see that one. It's an experience. Prowler, hands down, one of the greatest slasher films ever made. Joseph Zito did this one before he went on to direct, of course, Friday the 13th Final Chapter, which by many people is considered to be one of the best Friday the 13th, if not the best of all time. Joseph Zito honed his craft here with a really solid storyline. Some people find this one a little slow. I like the pacing of this one. I think it builds up really well. The murder set pieces in this are incredibly well done. This is Tom Savini, so you get some really great work, and the way the killer is killed in the end, brutal. Suspiria. There's a 3-disc edition that has like a CD. They're putting it. Suspiria's being put out slowly by Synapse, who are working on a definitive edition, which I will definitely be getting when that one comes out. But right now, Blue Underground has the definitive Suspiria. Love this movie. Just great stuff. There's a 25th anniversary disc on there, the 2nd disc. It's only a short, like one a bit like, not one of the longer documentary things, but you gotta have Suspiria in your collection. It is really that good of a movie. Underground, that should not be in the there. The Underground Shockwaves. Nazi zombies in water. Enough said. Grow your own Nazi zombies. They're really cool. Peter Cushing's in them. And Luke Halpin, who was in Flipper. So, check it out. And I think Brooke Adams, right? Yeah. Oh, and John Carradine. Amusement. One of the actual cool little films, anthology films that came out, where the wraparound is a huge, huge part of the story. I mean, this is a really big part of this movie. As wraparounds go, it's one of the most sensible wraparounds you're going to see. Targets. Boris Karloff, Peter Bogdanovich directed. It was kind of a switch in the horror genre, and kind of Boris Karloff, almost like he's handing off the way horror was into what horror would become. It's a great film. There's a commentary about Bogdanovich on here, as well as an introduction. If you can find this one, it's really, really worth getting. You will thank me. It's a great movie. Okay, now for movies that aren't great, but you should have in your DVD collection. I'll tell you why. It's Jason Goes to Hell. Now, a lot of you are groaning and wanting to turn off the video, but the reason is the commentary. The commentary on this is hilarious. The movie is shitty. I'm not going to lie. It's not a good movie. But I only watch this movie with the commentary on because the commentary always cracks me up with the director apologizing for the film that he's made, which he did, and I was kind of hoping that Rob Zombie would do that when he did Halloween 2, but he didn't. He got really, kind of pretentious about it. But this guy here knows he's made a bad movie and says, I'm sorry for this. I didn't mean to do that. The baby shouldn't have been unboxed. I wasn't dad at the time. Just a lot of cool stuff. Frankenstein Unbound is one of Roger Corman's classics. Consider what Roger Corman can do when Roger Corman actually has a fairly decent cast and budget. He really is that good of a filmmaker, but he loves making movies so much that he just bypasses the high budget stuff because he wants to make movies that he wants to see, that he wants done. He doesn't want studios getting into them. And this is one from my childhood. It may not resonate with everybody, and that is Dracula with Frank Langella and Laurence Olivier. I think this has the creepiest Lucy scene of all time, by the way. It's just really well done. I love this movie. I love the way this was done. Frank Langella plays it a much more romantic Dracula, much more of the Dracula that you would see on stage. But and some people didn't get that, especially after having Christopher Lee and all that. Why is there no Hammer films showing here? Because I don't have a lot of Hammer films, unfortunately, in my collection on DVD. I've got like a couple here or there, but I don't have any like cool sets or anything like that. So this one goes on here. The other Dracula films I got, Louis Jourdan. This is a definite really cool one. If you haven't seen this one, definitely check it out. It's a really, really excellent film done by the BBC. And who could not put Nosferatu on there? The guy that started it all, still one of the creepiest for me. One of the best. Gotta love Nosferatu. Great film. Max Schreck, you rock. Now let's get into the Scream Factory and Arrow portion of this video because for some of you, I'm sure that's what you want to see most. So first off, remember, all these Scream Factories I'm going to show you are also available on Blu-ray as well. Just when I started collecting Scream Factory, I really liked the bigger boxes that the DVD had because I really like showcasing the artwork. As I got more into the Blu-ray, I stopped buying them on DVD and started buying them on Blu-ray. But here's ones that I got on DVD that you can get on Blu-ray. I do recommend that you do get if you've got a Scream Factory collection or if you're starting one up. Wes Craven's Deadly Blessing, hands down, one of my favorites. Even Wes Craven underrates this movie. I think this is extremely cool. We have such a gorgeous cast on here as well. We got Maren Jensen from Battlestar Galactica, Sharon Stone's in this one, Susan Buckner from Grease is in this one, and Lisa Hartman, of course, from what soap opera was she on again? I think it was Knots Landing. Just a great film. Tobe Hooper's The Funhouse. This was very underrated in its day. Now it's getting the cult classic status it deserves. If you're a fan of Frankenstein, watch for all the Frankenstein references in this movie. There's a lot of them. The Howling. With The Howling 2 coming out, and I'm so excited about that one, by the way, definitely grab this one up. It's a really good one here. And the best feature on this one, I've mentioned this many times before, but I shall mention it again. There is a interview with the producer of The Howling. Actually, he produced all the Howling films. So he talks about the entire franchise right up to the new crappy Howling Reborn. He talks about every one of them. So definitely worth having. I've watched that a lot. This is one I got the day I was going to Morocco, actually. Morocco. I love that place. Psycho 2 and Psycho 3. Really low on features, but the commentary is seriously made up for it. I mean, I really love the commentaries on both Psycho 2 and Psycho 3. I put these on at night when I was trying to go to sleep. And I stayed up and listened to the entire commentary. It was just really that good. I didn't expect them to be that good at all. We got like Charles Edward Pogue on one, the screenwriter, and we got the screenwriter Tom Holland on the other. Just really, really great commentaries. Check them out. Phantasm 2 was one of the first Scream Factory ones that I got to say showed me that and more actually really meant something on the back of their boxes. They had a ton of features on here that just didn't get onto the other stuff. But that being said, really worth getting. All these are available on Blu-ray, so you can get the Blu-ray editions of those, and I do recommend it. Here's some Arrow and one Aerodrome one that I think belongs definitely in everybody's collection. If you haven't got into Fulci yet, or you want to find out if Fulci is for you, definitely grab this set first. The Gates of Hell trilogy. It's a way to get the City of the Living Dead, The Beyond, and House by the Cemetery it's kind of like a sampler thing. You get this all the movies. You don't get a lot of features on them, just a few actually, and you get a new booklet. I collect Fulci, so I wanted to see if Fulci was who I wanted to collect. If I really want to get into his stuff, there's reversible covers. There's a very extremely cool booklet in there that's new and only to this edition. I'm a guy that will be picking up Fulci. I think picking up and repicking up Fulci editions as long as they come out. I just really like his stuff. House by the Cemetery, The Beyond the Sea, Living Dead are three favorites of mine. I'm an unabashed Fulci fan, and those were three films that really stood out for me. This one now has a steelbook edition, but at the time that this came out, the original Blu-ray edition of this one wasn't really good. So the DVD edition was way, way better. And that's Tenebrae. Tenebrae is a great film. When this one came out, this was highly recommended to get the DVD edition. Now, since then, they've remastered it, put out a new, cool steelbook-looking edition of Tenebrae. So you might want to check that one out. But if you want to go back and grab the original, the white box one, get the 4 different covers and the poster, definitely check it out. The rest of these here, I think, I'm pretty sure are only on DVD. So there's no Blu-ray releases of these at all in the Arrow set, but there's just some really cool stuff. Beyond Reanimator, definitely not the best Reanimator film, but it's a fun little film. It harkens back to Frankenstein Monster in Hell from me, the last of the Hammer Frankenstein films. It just gives me a feel of that. But what's really, really good about this one, there's a 60-minute documentary on all the Reanimator movies that were made and all the Reanimator movies that they were going to make that never got made. Very, very cool. Gotta have this one. I love this movie. It's just so silly, and it's so fun. Pieces. If you've seen Pieces, you know what I mean. It just has so many over-the-top crazy scenes that you just keep thinking, what the hell? When the killer casually sneaks into an elevator, hiding a chainsaw behind his back, hoping nobody will see it, and they don't, you know you're in for a thrill ride of a fun movie. Jigsaw Puzzle, yeah. Terror at the Opera was one of Argento's last really, really great films. This is a great giallo. It was really, really good, and he does a great job the opera thing. See, there was a point when Argento was going to do an opera, and something happened for that not to play out. But you can see that how much he wanted to do it and he's longing for it on films like this one here. It's an amazing film, iconic scene. Love this cover, incredible stuff. Sleepless is one that I think is underrated. Max von Sydow is in this one here. Great little giallo. Definitely check it out. It's got the Master of Giallo thing on there, and he is the master. Steinau Syndrome is one of my personal favorites. It stars Zia Argento, his daughter, and just a really cool film. I love the ending to this one. It's pretty brutal. This one does have some serious violence, and there is like a rape sequence. So know that before. It's not for younger people or people that are disturbed by some of that stuff. That has a pretty brutal sequence in it, but it does pay off really well, and it's a very good film. Next up is Slaughter High. This was one of the original. This has probably my least favorite cover of any Arrow video film. I know it looks kind of cute, but I don't really think it represents the film that well. Slaughter High is a really great film that when you watch it the first time, you're like, what the hell? This makes absolutely zero sense. Until you get to the end, and then you're like, oh, yeah. Then when you watch it again, you get a much better appreciation for Slaughter High. It's a fantastic little film. This is one I got recently. I cannot wait to actually look into this one. I'm waiting to have my kids over so I can watch this one again, and it's Christmas Evil. I love Christmas Evil. I think it's one of the great Christmas movies of all time. And I don't mean Christmas horror movies. I mean one of the great Christmas movies of all time. Many people take it many different ways, but Christmas Evil has been considered a classic nowadays. Back in the day, though, Christmas Evil was considered a horrific film. No lies. But there we go, 50 minutes. This one actually went a little bit longer than my Blu-ray one. So my voice is going, guys. Thanks for watching. The Giant Lobster Head up there thanks you. My better half thanks you. And for me right now, it is time for tea. I am exhausted and my throat is scratchy like crazy. And you know, when you're going to do these videos and you're taking them out, you're like, that's okay. That won't be too bad. And then you look after the video's almost done and look at all the videos you got to put back. And some crying may be involved. One other recommendation for you, there's a tin edition out of The Howling that has parts 5, 6, and 3. Really worth picking up. They're very cheesy films. Have a great one. For me right now, it's time for tea, or my voice is going to go. Horror DVD.